Order. Question number 7, Grant Robertson.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Finance. When did Treasury first advise him that economic conditions were starting to mirror the downside scenario in his 2015 budget?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, Treasury have not specifically advised me of that. Treasury have advised me that since Budget 2015, dairy prices have fallen more than they expected, broadly in line with their alternative scenario. They've also advised that the downside scenario in Budget 15 does not take account of other offsetting factors. For example, that both exchange rate and interest rates are lower than assumed in the alternative scenario. These factors, of course, support all export-orientated businesses, not just those in the dairy sector.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Will the lower than expected exchange rate offset the negative impacts of other weak indicators that have been described by economists as portraying a very sluggish economy?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, yes, eventually it will offset some of those. In fact, it's probably offsetting some of them now. But the exchange rate effects take some time to show through. But one is only to talk to businesses that were profitable at 88 cents exchange rate against the US dollar to find them somewhat enthusiastic about their profitability at 63 cents.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Did Treasury advise him that unemployment is likely to rise above 6% in coming quarters, despite the worst case scenario in the budget being 5.5%?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, I wouldn't want to repeat exactly to misrepresent Treasury in any way, but they have certainly indicated that unemployment is likely to be sticky around the 6% mark.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
So therefore, Treasury are telling him that there will be 16,000 more unemployed people, making 151,000 unemployed people after that forecast comes to fruition. And how can he see that as a successful economy?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, no, Treasury haven't actually said that. What they've indicated is that the rate of the quite strong rate of job growth is likely to slow down. The interesting thing about the New Zealand market is that while there has been strong creation of jobs, there's been large numbers of people showing up to that market, including a net inflow from Australia for the first time in 25 years. Now, we'll get an update from the Reserve Bank this week with their forecasts, and then Treasury before Christmas on their forecasts about how migration, job creation and unemployment are going to interact.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Has the economy reached stall speed, as the ANZ Business Confidence Survey indicated? And if so, does he intend to alter anything about his approach to managing the economy?
The Honourable Bill English, either of those two supplementary questions.
Well, Mr Speaker, I'm not quite sure what the ANZ means by stall speed. I think they mean it's slowed down, and you don't have to be an economist to figure that out.
Question number 8, Jackie.